Hey everybody, Doug Walker here. I'm shooting this just before I go do another shoot, so it might be a little short, I apologize, but I don't have a ton to say about this, and Rob apologizes he couldn't be here for this one either, but I think his thoughts and mine are pretty similar on this, and you can check his Facebook if you want to know what he thought of it. But this is Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1. In this one, we have, for anyone that's been keeping up with the movies, Katniss has been saved, but Peeta is left behind, and now they want to make her the voice of the rebellion. They want to make her this person that everybody can get around, and they want to put her on posters and make her this huge icon so that the rebellion can officially get, not only can it get bigger and stronger, but they can actually win, and people need motivation. They need a face to go along with it, and she's going to be the face. But she doesn't want to because of all the stuff we saw before. She's not the best at it. She's not a very good actress. So a lot of the film is pretty much just them trying to find out how to sell her, like how to sell the icon and make her heroic. And a lot of it is spent underground in the trenches, and there's actually not that much action in this, which is kind of surprising because it's 2 hours long, but at the same time I'm watching this and I'm thinking, like, I can't think of anything I would cut necessarily. Maybe one or two scenes I punch up with, like, I don't know, like a hint of comedy or something, but I mean, it does take itself very seriously, and that's always sort of been both sort of the charm and the horrificness of the series, is that it does take itself so seriously. You know, the violence, when there is violence, is still pretty extreme. There's even, God, almost Holocaust-style imagery that, like, I was kind of moving a little bit in my seats, like, oh, it's a little uncomfortable. Which, I mean, I get it, and I don't think it's necessarily directly trying to address the Holocaust. This is when she goes and visits her old district, which is like, you know, you see the bodies on the ground and stuff. I mean, we've seen, whatever, Terminator and stuff like that. Something about this one did seem particularly unsettling, and maybe it's just me. Maybe, like, nobody else thought about it. But for me, it was, like, really uncomfortable. But again, it's trying to make it gritty and real. I don't think they were trying to, like, say anything or be in bad taste or anything like that at all. I think it's more just a me thing. Yeah, for some reason it just really made me uncomfortable. But it really sits with her just looking over these bodies and the impact it has on her. And that's kind of the best way to sum up the film. A lot of it is just reacting to stuff. You don't see a lot of what's going on above. It's more them reacting down below, which in most movies I would find really boring, and I'd be like, why aren't we seeing the action? Why aren't we seeing all this stuff? But I think because the acting is strong, and for me, the fact that they're coming at, again, from the angle, this is one of the reasons I enjoy these movies, they're coming at from the angle of the marketing, and the power of the marketing, and the power of perception. And you see this in politics, you see this in movies and entertainment, just all forms of media. It's all about how you market yourself, and it is kind of fun that they create a world where it's like you can kind of live or die depending on how well you market yourself, where it's not like entertainment where it's like you can live or die. No, literally live or die depending on how well you market yourself. I always like that about the film. I think it's a fun commentary. If I did have to pick out any weaknesses, I think a lot of people are probably going to be put off by the fact that there's not much action. When the film wrapped up, I mean, there's like a little bit of applause, but people kind of like, yeah, okay, it was about, I guess, what I expected, but I think people wanted something else to, like, really cheer, really go, yeah! And it kind of like what the film is building up, you know, this giant marketing ploy. And it's not quite there, and if I really had to choose something kind of wrong with it, I say that the ending very much, I don't think it cuts at the right time. Without giving away too much, there's a point where, because the last film cut at just the right moment where it's like, holy shit, I can't wait for the next one. I wasn't even, like, that invested in the Hunger Games movies. I like them fine, but, you know, I wasn't like, oh, I can't wait. At the end of the last one, I'm like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? And with this one, it's like, that would have happened if they cut, like, maybe 5 minutes earlier, and the people probably know the scene I'm talking about. It even goes black for a second, and I'm thinking to myself, and cut. But then it keeps going, and it doesn't ruin anything, But at the same time, I'm thinking, like, oh my god, why didn't they cut just 5 minutes earlier? This would have been, like, one of the really cool cliffhangers that would have raised a lot of questions. But they kept going, and it's not bad or anything, but it's just like, oh, you could have had that holy shit, what's going on scene. So, yeah, that's kind of my only major complaint about it. The acting is still really strong. It is kind of weird seeing Philip Seymour Hoffman. I mean, we all know he's passed on, but it's like, I think everyone kind of thought, well, since he's dead, they're gonna have to find some way to work around it, but it's like, unless this is the best CG ever, which I don't think it is, like, they shot a lot with him, and he's in this movie a lot, and man, was he good. He was so good. You know, he just brought a role that could have been, like, anyone could have played it, and he just makes it this really unique, you know, just well-done performance where you're just with him on every line, and it's never like, oh, he's acting. It's just you just totally buy it. You totally believe he's in that scene, and everything he's saying is totally legit, and it's his real thoughts, and he's saying it as he's thinking it up, so, still real lost, but, yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I mean, I think people will probably be thrown off a bit by there not being too much action in it, but they know another film is coming. I've never read the book, so I don't know what's going to happen. And it's still very much, even though it's underground, it's still very much about the publicity and the media, which I like. And I like the more people can realize that the stronger the icon and the image, the stronger the manipulation, the more likely you are to get what you want. Which is why, man, some of these people, like, you know, we just had the elections recently and stuff, and it's always like, oh yeah, this person will lead the way. It's like, wait, God, people. I mean, you can pick whoever. I'm not even, you know, picking out a politician or anything. It's just, this is all how it works. There is no savior, guys. You know, it's just not gonna happen. There's just people who are gonna sort of maybe make it work, and people that are just gonna screw you. You know, it's how much do you take of each? How much has the less and the more? I mean, it's just, but that's very much what the media tries to do. They try to make the big savior, and they try to do the big, everything is in this person. If you don't do this, you will have dire consequences, you know, placed upon you. So I like that this film really, really, again, just shows the power of that, and how clever you have to be, and even the subtlest little things. And the way they get around it with the Katniss character, how they actually have to take her to the field in order to get the reaction that they want. So I like that stuff. Maybe it's because I'm in the media and I'm in entertainment, so I really like seeing how they market something, even if it's a revolution. You know, I like movies like Wag the Dog and Canadian Bacon and stuff. I all thought those were really clever. So this movie's right up my alley, and I really enjoyed it. But yeah, if you're looking for the revolution has begun and we're gonna see Lord of the Rings style battles, and no, if you're, like I said, I don't know what happens in the books, but I'm assuming if there's going to be one of those, it's going to be the next part. This is still just very much behind the shadows and the marketing and stuff, which, if you like that, like I do, it's great. But if you're looking for the big action movie, it's really not that. It's still intense, and it's still suspenseful, but it's not an action movie. I wouldn't really describe it as that. I describe maybe suspense, you know, thriller commentary and stuff, but definitely not an action film like the other ones. So take that for what it's worth. Hopefully you can come to your own conclusions about it, and yeah, that's about it. I'll see you next review. Take care.